My review, movie review.
We'll do your
Probably
review.
could. Okay. This comes with some context. Came through Facebook. I think it might have been nothing again, or it came through. I think one of the groups I'm a part of, like a horror group or something along those lines. Who wants to do a review? Who does reviews? And I threw up my hat in the ring, saying, "Yeah, I do reviews for my podcast, and it's our podcast, but still, it winds up on my channel nonetheless."
It
But
winds up on his
either
channel
way,
usually before it does on mine, unless it's my
you
only.
have you are how far behind, woman?
Enough.
Enough.
I will get to it. First sleep in the blood of the
First,
innocent.
let me put it like this: good chance, but oh no, we'll do that later. Uh, but the review, and I'm going to give him a shout out here. I got a DM from. Got to log in.
You got a DM, huh?
I got
Yeah,
a
open them
DM.
DMs.
Somebody snuck in my DMs. Name of I don't know if it's his last name first, but he's got a last name first and a first name last. Uh, Wallet Steve, Wollett, and a V version of Steve. And he was like, "Yeah, I have a full movie out on YouTube, and it's called Jack Be Nimble. And if Sasha wants the link, I'll be more than happy to send it to her because it's on YouTube. It's not piracy or anything like that. You could watch it on YouTube. It has ads.
Not piracy. Oh,
Uh-huh.
I like
I don't know if
piracy.
I don't know if the company itself put it on YouTube or it's one of these. Yeah, you could kind of quote unquote watch it through us. So either
Speaking
way,
speaking of piracy, this past weekend it kind of gave me a chuckle. I was up at
I was going to wear this.
Second and Charles up in Harrisburg, and
It
I
can't fit
picked
over
up
the skirt.
I picked up a sealed special edition copy, one of the first runs for, mind you, only $4 sealed,
$4.
$4 Blu-ray copy of Alien versus Predator Requiem, and it's still sealed. And on the front of it, it's advertising how you can get a digital copy, but it's not like how you and I get digital copies now. You got to insert your DVD into your DVD drive, and it'll read something off
I,
of it, and then you got to type in a code. And I'm like, this is brand new sealed. Does this still work? So I'm gonna have to get back to everybody on that, but I just love the fact that on the front of the DVD box or the Blu-ray box, it legit says this is for Blu-ray players, which are different than DVDs, and make sure your Blu-ray player is up to date. And the most commonly and most popularly used Blu-ray player, this is how old it is. It states is a PlayStation 3. And at that point, I was like, God, I feel old. And then I realized it's the movie's about as old as Willow is. And I'm like, oh shit.
but you have to on that note. We'll get into the reviews. Like, while the show devolving right away is a habit of ours, you have to figure. Even back in the days of the PS2, I'm sure, in regards to the PS3,
DVD.
it was the same. Similar. DVD players were very expensive,
Yeah.
and I'm talking like maybe like almost like over $200. And even though uh, PS2s were close to $200, but the selling point is like, guess what? You get to play games too. Even though this is a gaming console, you could play movies as well, and that was the selling point. And that's why the PS2 kind of succeeded because you're getting just not just
And then
a
all of a
video
sudden, I
game
have somebody in the
console. You're
comments bring
getting
up the new one. If you don't know about the new one,
yeah,
I'll
you're
send
getting
you info.
yeah. Send me info in regards to that. You're getting a DVD players. You're getting in essence something that played audio CDs and plus games as well. So you'll get all that built into one player. Plus, it also played all your PS1 games too.
Well, there was a review
So
of the best CD players that are currently still available, even secondhand. And do you know what the most top rated best CD player was for just
let me
CDs?
guess, the PS2,
PS1.
the PS1. Oh
Best
yeah,
best top rated for DVDs was the PS2. Best for Blu-rays was a PS3. And I'm just like, holy fucking shit, you know?
yeah. It's just one of those things that they take a loss on it, and
Yeah, because they're
you
gonna make
you
it back
have
with the
that.
games.
Yeah, and what, especially the days of the PS1, it's this stylized piece of equipment that you could play CDs on and video games. And especially if you had the money for it, here's this art, something that looks like a piece of art in a way that also plays games.
Right.
Back to kind of the review.
Yes. Back to the movie review.
Back to the review.
Jack Be Nimble.
Jack Be Nimble. It's listed on IMDb as a comedy. It's a very independent movie. It's done by an independent group. It's more along, it has the feel of folks that we know from like EPG and Darkstone and other like Mark Byrne and his
Not Barnstable,
Absurd
yeah.
Productions. Yeah, all those folks that you and I both know. It has that low budget indie film to it. It stars at least two people we've probably met before. One of which I think you and I might have met Julie Ann Prescott before, but she's been in a lot of independent horror, including Bloody Summer Camp, which was released within the past year or two through David Kerr.
Okay.
And I've when I saw her photo on uh, IMDb, I'm like, wait a minute, I know that girl. And, it's like, and clicked on it, it's like, wait a minute, she was in Bloody Summer Camp. She's in a lot of David Kerr's films, so or at least shows up in a lot of David stuff. Nothing against her, but the other person that you and I've met, probably, I think you were there that year, was Vernon Wells.
Yeah. He's a bit of an asshole.
So, and let me put it like this: Vernon was part of maybe the third panel I was ever part of, and he was very, here I am still relatively maybe about 2 years into, maybe 3 years, not even 3 years into doing my show, and he's like, very welcoming, very like good to have you, very supportive, at least what I was trying to do at the time. And that being said, we're going to. I think he was part of the When Dinos Attack panel that we did way back when he was there. I think it was maybe 2017, maybe 2018, when everything was in the roller rink by
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And so I'll put that up as part of the retrospective bonus anniversary episodes later this week. So if you all want to hear that panel, visit us on the audio side of things and you'll hear that. But he was very welcoming. He plays this drunken old ex-priest in this. And the other big name in this movie is Bai, B-A-I, Ling. She's best known for her role in Crank,
Oh, okay. I know who she
which
is.
is that, yeah. Uh,
Stratham
she
movie.
plays a kind of,
Two of them.
yeah, yeah, she was in both. And just that, I think she really enjoyed that film. And it was like Crank and Crank 2 was just one of that series of films that it was done just, it was one, it was self-aware. Two, it was just done for shits and giggles and shits. Because they didn't, it was self-aware and they didn't take themselves seriously. But she plays a demon that needs to get 100 souls in order to be free. Meaning she's just trying to, I guess, escape hell. Not so much escape hell. She just doesn't want to be a part of hell anymore. And part of her deal was, give me 100 souls in 100 years, and I'll set you free. You'll be free to do what I don't know. And the whole movie has this Bubba Hotep feel to it, like a mix of Bubba Hotep and Stranger Things, meaning that Vernon Wells' character Jack and his group are playing like playing sessions of D&D throughout the whole movie. So it has a little bit of that Stranger Things feel to it.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything like that. It's just that it has both a Bubba Hotep and a Stranger Things feel. I'm So it's kind of hard for me to say without actually speaking to the main person who wrote this film and put it together, whether or not that was their influence or not. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. A lot of filmmakers tend to do that. You see it. I'm not going to rag on David, but the one thing that comes to mind is Bloody Summer Camp. It's an homage to all the slasher movies that you and I saw when we were young, and he saw when he was young. So having a movie that has a Bubba Hotep feel to it, that i.e. the movie takes place in a retirement home that feels run down, and it has its own backstory. I'm not saying that's an issue. It's just like it has that feel to it. Pulling up my notes to it. One of the downsides I've seen in it, is that there is in some spots the audio is not synced up by a smidge. It could be the fact that sometimes when you upload to YouTube, the audio gets moved.
Delays it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. It could have happened with that. It's only in some spots it moved a little bit. I don't know. It's because they used a lot of ADR, or the fact that it went up to YouTube. Since I don't have a physical copy with me or seen it on
Yeah, you can't say for
physical, I
certain.
don't know. I can't say for certain. So it's not really a big deal in regards to that. And the other, it's a feel has more of a PG feel than an R feel, meaning where a lot of independent just wants to go completely full balls R. This has more of a PG film. Obviously, it has to be in order to be on YouTube, even though you could probably find a lot of R-rated and adult stuff on YouTube if you dig hard enough. But
I'm not saying
it's
that
hard
you
to say.
should.
I'm not saying you should. I'm saying it's probably there. You just have to dig really, really deep. But this is probably more a PG rated aspect. It also has a feel of it's like the first movie of this kind, or like I'm not knocking him, and that's Wesley and his movie Zero Z-ERO,
Yeah, he's
which
got that
is
sequel coming soon too, doesn't he?
yeah, he's filming the sequel now. The first one, which I was a part of, and you can get DVDs for right now. If anybody's interested in DVDs, just go to the Zero Facebook page and inquire there. I'm sure that Wesley will be happy to ship you out a copy of that movie. And in regards to that, and his first one felt like it was very, very new. He went into it, I guess, knowing very little about filmmaking. I'm not knocking Wesley at all, but this one felt a little bit like that. That
Yeah.
he had access to Bai and Vernon and a few other folks. Part of it. Maybe did some crowdfunding to get it off the ground and get big names to be a part of this, like David Kerr has done, and many others in the past and present have done as well. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything like that. There were some time the movie in itself was a little bit of confusing. It wasn't a bad movie. It was very entertaining. I liked it. It's on YouTube, and just like I said, at times it was a little like, what's going on? And at times it seemed like it was going one way, but it went another.
All right.
It out of a five, I'll say 3 out of 5. And if it's on YouTube, it's not like one of these movies like I rented it from the library, I watched it, I want my money back. I want my money back. I want $5 for watching this piece of crap. No, it's on YouTube. If I don't put it on when I clip it out, I'll put the least link on my end of things. If Sasha wants the link up for her end of things, I'll be happy to give it. So those of you out there who wish to watch it and want to be a part of the conversation, whether or not you enjoyed it, you're more than welcome to do so. We'll be happy to take your comments. Just as always, keep things civil in the towel section down below. So
Yeah, I have no problem with you guys being uncivil. I've got that band hammer. I'm all about it.
I have that band hammer too, but I'll put it like that.